Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today we all gather to celebrate a man of immense value and honor. As a loving husband, a devoted father, a renowned journalist, an accomplished writer, a respected politician, a generous philanthropist, amongst many feathers to his cap, Are Ayobami Ojutelegon Dele Momodu's life is a testament to his dedication and passion. Right here at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Kofo Abayomi, Victoria Island, Lagos, we are honored to host a timely lecture titled How to End Poverty in Africa, a topic which perfectly aligns with the global economic discussions. With Nigeria's former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, being in attendance, the lecture will be delivered by Nigeria's former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, as a special prelude to Are Dele Momodu's 65th birthday celebration. As your red carpet host, I promise to bring to you exclusive insights into today's festivities. My name is Bianca Ogowane, and until we meet again at the dinner reception, please enjoy the insightful discussions ahead.
All I know to say about him and all I have to say about him is good. So I wish him happy birthday. I wish him well, the best of health, sound mind, the best of God, the best of what the future has to hold. That's all I wish him. Happy birthday, Ajani. Happy birthday, sweetheart. We love you and thank you for all that you do for me, for your sons. We all love you. We appreciate you. It's an opportunity to say we love you and thank you. Thank you.
Feeling good. It's Dele Momodu's 65th birthday. Let me tell you, it's through the social grace of God. Right. Yeah, some people were born on the same day they died.
Oh, that's true.
Some people got to 20, some to 40. So it's through the grace of God. And then that book of Psalm chapter number 90, that verse number 12. Teach us to number our days so that we can put our heart to wisdom, more grace to function. In Jesus Christ's name.
Amen.
Oh, I wish him long life. He's always full of life, he's energetic. He should keep leading, keep doing what you're doing. We love you, Ekushe, and God bless you, grant you good health and long life. And you work so hard, and may you reap bountifully the fruit of your labor. Happy birthday.
Oh, we want to thank God for his life. Firstly, 65 years of incredible life. He's a man who has impacted so many, in so many ways, myself inclusive and my family. And I just want to wish him all the best in his endeavor going forward, that the Lord that has kept him thus far will continue to bless him, bless his household and the work of his hands. Wish him joy, peace, progress. In Jesus' name.
My wish is that this is the beginning of bigger things to come. I see this lecture series growing every single year because he has a huge network, not just locally but globally. In fact, I'm about to meet him for the first time because he's now my uncle. He actually just built an amazing property in my village, and he's now the son of the soil. And so I'm here to represent all of Edo State, and so proud that he's 65 and doing big things at this age.
Inspirational is what I would say. Do you want me to expand on that? Yeah, because I love the way that everywhere he goes, he celebrates people. He's always looking for the betterment of his people and the nation. Even in the lecture, the speeches that were given, it was all about elevating Africa. You know, so everything that was said about him is true and even much more. I pray that God will continually watch over him and his family, that all the plans that God has for him will be established in his life. And I just want people like him is what we need in leadership, in government, seriously, because he has a heart for the people. And and I'm so blessed.
I wish him happy birthday and many more success, more achievements, everything good. I wish him everything good because he's a fantastic man. I just got back from China yesterday and I took a flight all the way from Abuja to Lagos just to attend this. You know, when I saw the topic about ending hunger and poverty, as the founder of Being Human Foundation for the Less Privileged,
I'm like, this is the same cause we're trying to, this is what we're fighting for. This is the solution we've been looking for. This is a good opportunity for me to be here, and I'm really happy that Allah made it possible for me to be here. And I'm happy that former President Olusegun Obasanjo did justice to the topic. It was fantastic.
Thank you.
I wish him long life. I wish him more blessing. I wish him more wisdom. I wish him more understanding. I wish him more grace. And moreover, I wish him more. It's already great. He'll continue to be great in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you so much, ma.
Just that.
Yes. Just
Pleasure to welcome you to this special occasion, the 65th birthday anniversary of Chief Dele Abayomi Ojutelegan Ajani Omo Momodu. Publisher, businessman, Chief Executive Officer and Chairman of Ovation Publications, also publisher of Boss newspapers, the main spirit behind Ovation Red Carol, politician, distinguished Nigerian. Thank you all for coming. Announcing the arrival of His Excellency President Olusegun Obasanjo, former head of state of Nigeria, former president of Nigeria, statesman, global icon, one of the most important products of the Nigerian society in the 20th and the 21st century. Farmer, spirit of Africa, Baba Yabo, Baba Africa, Ebora Uwu. Should I go on? Jagumolu of Egbaland, Balogun of Uwu, Olori Omolu of Ibogun, Olaogun. You are welcome, sir. And thank you, every one of you, for attending this occasion, the second in the series of the Dele Momodu Leadership Lecture. Last year, when we gathered here, our guest lecturer was Professor Bath Nnaji, who spoke about the politics of energy. Today, the topic is how to end hunger and poverty. If we could just all be seated, as I ask respectfully, that we all rise for the national anthem. Thank you very much. Please, we may be seated. Well, very quickly, this program is going to start. We're not going to delay. Baba is already here. He arrived on time, and we're not going to keep him waiting. But I look around the hall, and I would like to welcome all of you. I see Chief Ezekiel Fatoye. Chief Ezekiel Fatoye is a father to the celebrant of this occasion. I see Dr. Bode Olajumoke. Both of you are welcome, sir. I see also Tasty Fried Chicken. Chief and Chief Mrs. Adedayo. They are here. They are very close to the celebrant. I see other people in the hall who are here present. The Bob D gang, his friends. Folusho Adiagbo, who happens to be my mate, my birthday mate. I see Prince Dotun Ojelabi. I see Mr. Sheyi Orolugbagbe, and a host of other persons, Safulu Olamiti from the media industry. My colleague and friend, well, he's now a chief. He goes by the title chief. I don't know why a journalist will become a chief. Maybe one of these days I'll take some titles in Egbaland also. Chief Femi Adesina, former presidential spokesman. But let me invite Mr. Oladele Ogunlano, a public relations expert and a tourism aficionado, to do more introductions. And then we'll go straight to business. Mr. Ogunlano, please.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have already recognized our Baba in the house, a statesman par excellence, Africa's voice on the global stage. You're welcome again, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR. I'd like to also recognize in our midst the royal family, the Shijuade and Aderemi families. We thank you for being with us. We recognize also our leaders, the diplomatic corps. We thank you for being with us. I recognize also the chairman, Odua Group Investments, Dr. Bimbo Ashiru, and also a respected political figure, an advocate for justice, equity, and fairness, Chief Olisa Metu. We recognize you and thank you for being here. A leading light in the Africa business landscape, chairman of Shoreline Group, and a man known for his sharp intellect, strategic foresight, Mr. Kola Karim, we are honored by your presence. We are also recognizing a woman of quiet strength and elegance, Mrs. Bolaji Momodu, who is the pillar behind the Celebrant, wife, mother, confidant, who has walked this journey with grace and compassion. Today is your celebration, madam. A statesman, businessman, and man of culture, Chief Fashawe continues to play a vital role in nation building. We thank you for being here and we welcome you as well. A noble son of royalty, Prince Damola Aderemi, embodies tradition, diplomacy, and a forward-looking vision of Nigeria's heritage. We thank you and we welcome you. We will most definitely continue with recognitions as the event goes on, but we must continue, and I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ogunlano. To that list, I had Elder John Adebanjo. Thank you for coming. Dr. Elisha Atai. Mr. Folusho Adegboke, I introduced him earlier. I keep introducing you, maybe because we share the same birthday. Tina Vuko Kwashe. I haven't seen her in decades. Where's she in the hall? Okay, there you are. How are you? Good to see you again after so many years. Chief Balaye Sofo is also in the hall. Otega Ogra is here from the presidency. The Shijuade family is well represented. Earlier on, I saw Prince Shijuade, who was there in the hall. Chief Olisa Metu has been introduced. I've just seen Mr. Tony Okoroji. Mr. Tony Okoroji, thank you for coming. Chief Lai Oriowo, yeah, how could I leave him out? He's my in-law, Chief Lai Oriowo. This family is that Bia Oriowo. Yadura just arrived. She's welcome into Miss Chief Obi Anyanwu. Mr. Ezekiel Adamo of Bamora. Now, without much ado, in order to waste too much time, I would like to invite the celebrant to welcome us all. Now, I introduced him earlier on as we were starting the program. Now, is Yakinrogun of Bongoland, Yare Tayeshi of Iwo land. The Onu now, Ekurunchi, Oha one of HT. I don't know whether that one has a Buruburu or worldwide behind it, but he has a chieftaincy title in HT. He's also Bashorun of Okela. Is the Ehanekaye, they won't remove my teeth, Ehanekaye of Iviebe Kingdom. But you all know him as chairman of Ovation Media. You know him as a politician, Labour Party, National Conscience Party, now People's Democratic Party. He's an author, publisher, polemicist. Some people say, I read that today somewhere, that he's the Babalawo of the Nigerian media. Babalawo, welcome your guest.
Thank you. Bàbá mi ò ní dọ̀bálẹ̀ yẹn tán sà, gbogbo ẹ̀ ojoojúmọ́ ni ó máa dọ̀bálẹ̀. Former president. But they say once a senator, so why can't it be once a president? always a president. You are the president of Africa. Play a big round of applause for him. I will skip protocol for now and go straight to the point because Baba has so many other activities to attend to. So I will start by welcoming you with a Yoruba saying, Ojúmọ́ ti mọ́, a kò gbọ́ poroporo odó, ọ̀gànjọ́ gan, a kò gbọ́ wọ̀ṣọ̀wọ̀ṣọ̀ kọ̀ǹkọ̀ṣọ̀, kádìran méku, kádéku mẹ́ja, àfàìmọ̀, káwo má sùn lébi, àfàìmọ̀. I had to do that to encapsulate the reason we are here today. Ọ̀rọ̀ ebi ló gbé wa débi. Ọ̀rọ̀ ebi, it's about hunger. So who else can do justice to the issue of hunger in Africa than the Ebola Owu? Baba, President, Chief Olusegun Òkìkíọlá Kànká gbogbo ayé Ọbásanjọ́. So since I'm not the lecturer, I will invite Baba in a second to start the lecture, but I want to thank everyone. It's very difficult to find Nigerians, especially on a Friday where there are weddings, there are funerals, and this hall is practically filled up. But one name attracted a lot of people. Everybody is because, are you sure Baba will come? I said, no. Baba is a man of his words. Unless you kill him, he will keep his words. Thank you, Baba. May you live long, sir. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations, Bob Dele. Yes, okay, thank you. Well, before we go on to the introduction of the guest lecturer, I would like to invite Mr. Ogunlano again to introduce more guests.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome in our midst the Otun Oluwo Adimula of the Source, retired AIG Tunji Alakbini, here with us. Can we please give him a round of applause? I also recognize Pastor Idowili Yomade. Thank you for joining us. And also the board, the directors of Odua. I know I recognized the chairman, but I also recognize the members of the board. You're welcome and thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I see Otumba Rafiu Ladepo in the hall. Mr. Soji Awogbade, SAN, is also in the hall. Ara, that very distinguished female drummer and musical artist, is also here this morning. Ara, not Ara. That's the beauty of the Yoruba language. One word, you can say Ogun, 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 whatever. That's the beach. Anyway, yes, the governor of Night Shift, and Caleb's do mercy. Lord have mercy. Thank you very much for coming, sir. We will continue with the introductions as we proceed. Okay. Now, you see, Bob D, as he's also known, lived up to the billing as the Babalawo, the title that some people are trying to now impose on him. Oh. Anyway, now the chairman, we're still waiting for him. His Excellency, the governor of Osun State, dancing governor, Governor Ademola Jackson Dele. The man has turned dancing into an art of governance, so much that When President Tinubu went to Anambra, he too started dancing. Very soon we'll have all our political leaders taking dancing lessons. But in the absence of the chairman, we may well just go straight to business, since Baba is here and Baba cannot wait for anyone. Hunger and poverty. You all know that our guest lecturer knows a lot about hunger and poverty. Not just because he's a farmer of talents, a farmer in the practical sense, a farmer of ideas, but also because he understands the connection in this as a leader, as a global statesman, and the connection between hunger and poverty and other issues, governance, climate change, conflict, famine, and all the other issues that you can think of, whether it's in Congo or elsewhere in Africa. And as leader of Nigeria, head of state, 1975 to 1979, as a military leader, president, 1999 to 2007. These are practical issues that he had to deal with. You all know Operation Feed the Nation. You all know Green Revolution. You all know the poverty alleviation program that President Obasanjo introduced when he was in office. Many books have been written about this, even if he himself has not specifically written a book on poverty and hunger. It is an issue that he has always had to deal with. He's an author. My Command, Nzogu, My Watch, which is in 3 volumes. In one of those volumes of My Watch, Baba devoted about a whole paragraph to talk about Reuben Abati. So abuse me, with due respect, sir. It would be wrong for a son to say his father abused him. You know, he has written Africa in Perspective, a perspective, the issue of Africa, its challenges, and poverty alleviation is one of those issues, 1999 to 2007, that the Obasanjo administration confronted frontally. There are many critiques of what he did with it and all of that. But beyond all of that, he's a farmer in the practical sense. Whether he's in Ota, or he's in Isenyi, or he's in Cross River State, this is a man who knows his subject. We're lucky to have him as one of the icons from Nigeria in the 20th and 21st century. And as an Egba man, we are very proud to have him as a father figure in Egba land, where is the Jagumolu of Egba land, where is the Balogun of Owu, where is the Olori Omolu of Ibogun or Laogun. But beyond all of that, apart from being a community leader, he plays on the global stage. And even at 88, 89, he has remained very relevant. Don't be surprised if Baba came here from Rwanda, and when he leaves here now, you will say he's on his way to Morocco. Or Addis Ababa. Okay, some people, okay, that's Iyadura Esther Ajayi. You know Baba very well. But today, we're very privileged to have him in our midst. It's about hunger. In Africa, over 200 million people are hungry. Half of the children in Africa are malnourished, undernourished. And poverty and hunger remain very critical issues. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, now, before I invite Baba to the podium, I would like all of us, out of respect, to start by standing up and giving him a round of applause. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, GCON. Baba o, Baba o, Baba o, Oluwada Baba Chief. Thank you.
Please be seated.
Clear way. Clear all the media. Please clear all your media people.
Can I now take over? Kábíyèsí, ẹ káàbọ̀, adé apẹ́ lórí, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀. Inú mi dùn pé ẹ wà ń bí fún ọmọ yín, ọmọ wa. Àá pẹ́. Ọmọ tí ẹ torí ẹ wá dá lọ́lá náà pẹ́. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, if I'm saying things that are not in logical order, you will have to forgive me. The first thing I want to say is that say why that in Yoruba land, wọ́n ní yìnyínyìnyín yìí a lè ṣe mí. You praise whoever deserves to be praised, so that you encourage him or her to continue to do more. I must confess, when I came here this morning, I was really surprised at the amount of improvement that has been done here to this institution. So I want to thank and commend all those that have contributed to making this place a changed place that we have it now. I was in Dublin attending the Interaction Council meeting when I received Dele's invitation card, putting me as lecturer and giving me the topic of how to end hunger and poverty in Africa. Dele, maybe it was my own misunderstanding or your own improper briefing. When you came, you invited me, and I agreed. Until I got your invitation in writing and a card, practically a card, my telephone. I did not realize that you also want me to give a lecture. So when I got the invitation and I saw lecture, I thought, what should I do? Was Dele pulling a fast one on me? My first reaction was to call you and tell you, Dele, I've received your invitation, but when you came see me, it was not an invitation, or is it me that hadn't got it right? Then, while I was still debating in my mind what exactly to do, I looked at the card again, and I saw that my brother, former President Goodluck Jonathan, was supposed to be special guest of well, while giving me the hard task and giving President Jonathan the soft, pleasurable task, I didn't know why. But looking at the card, I saw that Ruben Abati was going to be host. I mean, what did you call him on the card? You call him host. So I said, wow, why should I have to give the lecture when Ruben Abati, who is in the media and whose job is to talk, is not given the task of giving the lecture? So I smell rat. I said to myself, maybe Ruben Abati, and knowing Ruben as well as I do know him, it could be part of the conspiracy that I should take on this. However, I gathered myself together and decided that, well, maybe I take on the task, because I don't know whether, as Dele used to be in the past, there's something that he found that I had done wrong, and he will want to punish me. Because Dele himself knows that he was one of those who, one of the group which out of great and stark ignorance used to gather to abuse me. Of course, to my own delight and amusement for their ignorance, for which I sympathize with them. And when Dele saw the light, he became wiser. Well, also fine in dear Lord Joko. Governor Cabo, ìjọ mẹ́ta ló fi ju Dele lọ, ayọ̀ kan nú ẹ̀ nítorí ó léètì. Ìjọ méjì, tó ìdọ̀bálẹ̀ mẹ́ta mo pé kó máa fún ẹ, àárọ̀ àsọ di méjì. Dele, take note. Dele, I was talking about you when you went to meet your senior brother. Maybe no. I said I was talking about you, your group, who used to gather to abuse me. And I talk of my own delight and amusement for your ignorance, which as I said, I sympathize. And when you, Dele, saw the light, You became wiser, and you told me so. Still, as I said, looking at that invitation, it was about it. And even when you heard about it here, not too long ago, you could see that he could have been a conspirator with Dele in getting me here. When I took a look at the topic of the lecture, I shook my head in disagreement. How do you end? Yes, I will deliberate together mentally on ending hunger. Hunger is hunger. And you either have your stomach filled and you are satisfied, or you have your stomach empty and you are hungry. Well, about it, yeah, we refer to what you may call my CV, the man who knows something about hunger and poverty. And he was right. I was born and bred in a village. And Yoruba man sọ wípé atapata de, which is a man who actually had difficulty in his upbringing. And I used to say, in my own case, I am atere fonde because any Torah patanti latidimu is still better than the one who come out of 404. So my background, my upbringing was in a village where there isn't much to talk about. But we were poor in the village, but we were not hungry. That very important. As at that time, we were poor in the village, but because almost everybody was a farmer. And the first thing you do as a farmer is to provide for your family. We were poor, but we were not hungry. You would say today the type of food we ate, you will say it's an unbalanced diet. But balance up or no balance up, we had food. We filled our stomach. And our case is like the case of the Babylonian woman who was a devoted churchgoer. She was a poor woman, but her dress was always very well done, very well pressed, very neat, but tattered. So the pastor came and mounted the pulpit. Amadwa, Ishite Monso, Pastor Tiakro. And the pastor then opened up, said, Holy, holy, holy Lord God Almighty. And Mama Saro got up and say, holy, holy, Betty clean. That is, he thought that the first pastor was referring to her dress, which has many holes in it. And then he got up and said, Pastor, he holy, holy, but he clean. So we were poor, village, but we were not. So the holy, holy, but he clean. We were poor, but now, I believe that poverty, as those who plan the program had in mind, is abject poverty. And that is poverty in which, in the worst form, or to the maximum extent, it is ignoble and extremely very, very hard people. Let me, you will forgive me, this is the first time I'm trying to use computer, give a lecture. And then you should know that I am BBC, born before computer. Now I have to get used to it. So, but when we talk of poverty, because I want to separate hunger from poverty. When we talk of poverty, it's relative. I said we were poor in the village, but we were not hungry. A man with bicycle is a poor man compared with a man with a car. A man with Peugeot is a poor man compared with a man with Mercedes Benz. A man with a bungalow may be a poor man compared with a man with a story building. So, I would rather talk of abject poverty. And when I refer to our poverty in the village, it was not abject poverty. It was poverty in terms of money we have in our pocket, but we are well fed. Even though our food could be eba in the morning, eba in the afternoon, and maybe, if we are lucky, pounded yam in the evening. It's all carbohydrate, but our stomach was full. I believe that the poverty that we are talking about is abject poverty, where was to see people who could not even be sure of what they will have or the morning of the next day. So I want us to differentiate abject poverty, which goes along with hunger, from relative poverty, which, as I said, you can say you are poor when you have one bicycle, but you are not hungry. So now that we are on the same wavelength, we can agree that ending abject poverty will end hunger. And ending hunger will have implication for ending abject poverty. Ending abject poverty, because end hunger. And ending hunger will have implication for ending abject poverty. If you really want to find solution to a problem, you must thoroughly understand the problem and all the factors that have bearing on it and implications for the problem. So we are talking of hunger and poverty. What really is the fundamental cause of poverty and hunger? Poverty and chronic hunger, as we lay both of them out interchangeably for discussion, we must agree that they emanate from the same element. And that element is distribution of resources. That element is distribution of resources. God gave us resources for the world, for a continent, for a nation. How those resources are exploited, and distributed determines hunger and poverty. Now, if we move on from there, I will say no human beings are born without certain innate abilities, which must be developed for personal, family, community, and national enhancement and contribution. It is when the innate ability that God has given to you, like we have it in the Bible, we are not equally talented. We are not equally endowed, but there's nobody without one form of ability or the other. The opportunity to develop those abilities also determine whether you are poor or you are not poor. Now, therefore, I go to the beginning, as it is, of life, which becomes rich or poor, or stomach, which becomes filled or empty. And what is this? The beginning is first security of life, that you are able to live, security and protection of life. Before you talk of food or poverty, you have to be able to live. And that is the first thing. Then, of course, part of being able to live is to have food security. Food, and I will even add food security and nutrition security. Very important after you are being able to live. But what I said earlier, education is the basic instrument and the basis for individual cognitive development, skill acquisition, empowerment, employment, and wealth creation and generation. Education is fundamental. Fundamental. Now, it is the first and most potent instrument tackle and banish poverty and hunger, abject hunger. As it is for an individual, it is also for a family, a community, and a nation. If you do not have the knowledge, the empowerment in terms of education, you are handicapped. As an individual, as a family, as a community, as a nation, and even as a continent. Where there's no education, invariably there will be poverty. And where there's poverty, there will be hunger. Abject poverty leads to hunger. Both are jolly good bedfellows, poverty and abject hunger. With education must be character, morality, and great attributes inculcated into everyone in the community, the society, and the nation. In such a group of people, or among such people, everyone is everyone else's brother, friend, sister, keeper, in an inclusive society where there is caring and sharing. And that is the African culture, African society. Then what has happened? I come to that. The people must hold themselves in the African culture of I am because we are. You don't stand alone. You are not I, it's we. Because it is we together. Ubuntu, that's the word, the best word in South African language that puts it. So at all levels and in all walks of life, we must have leaders, particularly in the political and governance sectors, whose character and attributes are as strong, commendable, and wholesome as recommended for members of the community as earlier described. What is it? Attribute of love, attribute of we are together, attribute of whatever concerns you concerns me, attribute of we, attribute of community. We talk of communality, not communism, communality. And that is the way that we have what makes us together. You have a share. I have a share. Leaders must also have these attributes. Leadership matters most and is the greatest and gravest ingredients of ending poverty, hunger. Before dwelling further on this all-important issue of leadership, there must be established or created a system and conditions that are suitable, a system and environment that are suitable for performance and achievement by the leader and his or her team. There must be the leadership. Yes, we need the leader to achieve, But the condition must be provided, must be appropriate, must be suitable for the leader and his or her to be able to perform. Because the condition and the situation are not so conducive, performance will be very adversely affected. Let us now consider the leadership issue, which is a very paramount issue in all human affairs, starting from the family, leadership matter, community, leadership matter, in the market, leadership matter, in the church, leadership matter. There is no human organization that does not cry for leadership, but more particularly in the political affair. Because politics is the master. Everything that we do, politics is the master. So what we need, who is a leader? Maxwell, a great expert on the issue of leadership, simply described a leader as an influencer. Then who, therefore, is a leader? Everybody, in one form or the other, is a leader. Because you can influence. You can influence. So, first, we have attribute. We have what God has endowed us with, which must be developed. And then that development in terms of education empowers. And that development also makes you be an effective or a bad leader, depending on the attributes that you take along with it, because of you can influence. Let's now consider leadership nurture. How is leadership nurtured, prepared, and inculcated for continued good influence, and like Jesus Christ, going about doing good. And at political level, good governance through good leadership. Since I have made reference to Jesus Christ, as it is said of him, you will kindly permit me to use example of Jesus Christ, who was unmatchable, exemplary leader. First, his birth was not shrouded in secrecy, lies, and untruth. We know his mother. We know his mother, Mary, his father, his earthly father. They didn't make any thing about it, and how he came to be born. It was all put for us. The circumstances of his birth, and we know him as Jesus of Bethlehem, even the village where he was born. We know of his childhood. At the age of 12, we are given his growth and development up to the age of 30 years, when he commenced his mission. A leader's life and history must be an open book. I told you about this thing. I don't know how I decided to use it, but I will get there. You just have to exercise patience. This is the first time I will do this. but I will not do it again. Okay. Yeah, I was just trying to prove to you that I'm not as illiterate as people may think I am in using computer. But I've now found that I've messed it up again. Well, talking of leadership and a leader as an influencer. So a leader can influence for good and can influence for ill. A leader can influence for good and can influence for ill. He can lead well or he can lead badly. So what then do we need to do to ensure that we have no, I've got it. What then do we need to do to make sure that we get it right? First, we must ensure that there's no lack of education. Lack of education for a child gives that child every high probability of being abjectly poor and falling into hunger trap. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let me conclude on my strong conviction and equally on strong warning. With integrity, discipline, good governance, elimination of corruption and waste, Nigeria can get rid of abject poverty and chronic hunger within a decade and a half. We have 24 million children that should be in school that are not in school. 24 million out of 244 in the world. We have 10% of the world children that should be in school that are not in school. If we are going to talk of eliminating hunger and abject poverty, we must get all those children into school. And as I said, I believe we do it well. In 15 years, we can get our population almost 100% educated in 15 years. But to do that, you need the right leadership. And if we have that, as I said, good governance, elimination of corruption and waste, Nigeria can get rid of abject poverty and chronic hunger within a decade and a half. If China can do it, China lifted 700 million people. I have been in China. I've been in their rural area where I live with the poor people who, in winter, for heating their rooms, is the cooking that they allow the smoke to go under their bed. That's how they heat their room. But within a space of 15 years, China lifted 700 million people out of poverty. So we can achieve that if all things are equal. And as I said, if China can do it, we can do it. We have human and non-human materials to banish poverty and hunger from Nigeria. But what applies to Nigeria applies to almost all other countries in Africa. Nigeria should have no business with poverty and abject poverty and hunger. God has not made that our Lord. Rather, it is the conscious and unconscious choice of Nigerian leaders. And this is no different from any other African country in similar situation. That situation must be changed. Now comes the strong warning. If we don't take up the responsibility to take care of educating the uneducated and integrating them into constructive, productive, and gainfully engage them within the society, the uneducated and the unemployed will take care of us all as unpleasantly as they can make it. We are all sitting on kegs of gunpowder. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. We should create no room for the poor and the hungry, because in desperation, their fury will be uncontrollable. The good news, though, is that God has endowed us with adequate resources in Nigeria to have no abject poor and chronic hungry among us. So are many other countries in Africa that are also richly endowed. Let me take one of the countries that is regarded as poor in Africa, DRC. Right now, I'm involved in the DRC. This is a country that has 9 countries as its neighbors that borders with them, and the sea. So, the largest in Africa. No other country in Africa is bordered by 9 countries. It's a country that has 2 time zones, the only country in Africa. The time in Kinshasa is 1 hour behind the time in Goma. It's a country that is 2.5 times the size of Nigeria. 2.5 times the size of Nigeria. It's a country that has about 1/3 the population of Nigeria. It's a country that has 60% of the cobalt, and for if we are talking of battery car and all that, you need cobalt. 60% of the cobalt deposit in the world is in DRC. There's a neighbor of DRC that has no cobalt and is exporter of cobalt. There's a country, neighbor of DRC, that didn't have gold. It has 8 gold refineries. And that country, DRC, is still regarded as one of the poorest countries in Africa. Now, how can that be if all things are right? I was first in DRC on the 1st of October 1960 as a young officer under the UN peacekeeping. In 2009, I was sent to DRC again by Ban Ki-moon, and I was there for 18 months just to see what is going on. The problem of DRC in 1960 was still there in 2009. And the problem of DRC in 1960 and 2009 are even more there today. Now, I give that as a typical example. You can take any other country. They will be more or less in the same situation. It may be just a little bit different. So, what am I saying? What am I saying is simple. That leadership matters. And what applies to Nigeria applies to any other country. And I've given an example. Nigeria should have no business, as I've said, with the poverty. And this is no different from Malawi, make it Zambia, any other country. Now, so we are all endowed. What matters is what we make of the endowment. We have no reason to complain. And why we are complaining is because we are not doing enough for ourselves. Why are we poor? We are poor because unwittingly we have chosen to be poor. Let me give another example. Some time ago, when I was president, there was problem in Guinea-Bissau. And I was chair of AU. John Kufuor of Ghana was chair of ECOWAS. And then I said to him, let's go. And he said, where are we going? I said, we are going to Guinea-Bissau. Meet me at the airport. And he did. And what do we have? We met at the airport. He came into my plane. And as we were about to land, he looked, everything was green. Water, green. And he said to me, hey, my brother, this country should not be poor. I said, my brother, tell me which country should be poor in Africa. And that is true. Which country should be poor in Africa? When we got there, this is a country, if you plant any fruit, any tropical fruit, it will grow luxuriantly. We got to the hotel. We had imported grape, not banana, not orange, not pineapple, not tangerine, imported grape. we had imported apple. So I told President John Kufuor, I say, I am protesting. He said, how are you protesting? I say, I'm protesting by not eating this food that they've put here. And that is the type of Africa that we give to ourselves. Now, I believe what God, we should pray God to who has endowed us with all the resources, that you should also endow us with the provision of leadership for great leap forward for Nigeria and for global Africa. The leadership. Dele, thank you for successfully pulling a fast one on me. And if I know Ruben, as I said, maybe he has some hand in the conspiracy. But Dele, in all seriousness, on my own behalf and on behalf of all of us here and all your friends who are not here, but who wish you well, and especially on behalf of Kabesi and your senior friend brother who has lost one day from the 3 days that he was senior to you, I congratulate you most heartily. And I hope that 5 years from now, when you will be celebrating your 70, you will invite me properly. And I will answer you adequately. And on that occasion, we will be able to examine what progress Africa has made in banishing hunger and poverty. Because until we are able to do that, we are not going to be recognized as right as we should be recognized by the international community. That I know, and I believe that you know. Africa has embarked on a journey of making Africa what God has created it to be, a land flowing with milk and honey. To achieve that, we need all hands on deck, and particularly the hands of our leaders, to make sure that we are able to turn God's resources to our benefit. Thank you.